Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyday Moves and Shows. Today we're talking to you about King of the Hill. This will be part one of a two-part episode. This is Propane Boom, last episode of season 2.
Yes,
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites because it leads up to like one of my favorite episodes. But it's a really good episode.
The quote in this is it just keeps going.
Yeah.
You know, in this one and the second part, oh man, they're just so funny.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was super funny. I like how much attention Buckley gets in it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, it really shows how much of a douchebag he is.
I know. He only has like a 3-word vocabulary.
Pretty much.
You know, hey, chicken butt, chicken thigh. What else did it say?
That's pretty much it.
That's really about it.
Which I thought was cool because you really like it puts you back in that time frame. What things are like, what life was like back then, you know, especially down there in like Texas and shit like that, because it's very accurate, you know, the lifestyle, how they live in that like house and shit like that. Hell yeah, it is. You go down there to any kind of like in Texas, and the houses are built just like that, you know, especially in like the original like common area, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I like King of the Hill, is because it portrays what it's like growing up in like a strict, not like you know, just kind of like a strict Christian family in Southern America. I mean,
They're Methodist.
Yeah, Christian.
But I like how Mike Judge, his portrayal of Megalomart.
What?
The way what he thinks about Megalomart.
It's like what Walmart is.
Is basically what Walmart is, but what he really thinks about it, because like. I think the very first episode of season 1, or whenever Hank goes to Megalomart and he's looking for a hammer, you know, and then that guy's like, "Well, what are you trying to do?" And he's like, "I'm trying to buy a hammer." Well, what are you trying to do though? Maybe I can help. You know, that's exactly how I was trained when I worked at Walmart when I was, you know, in my teens. That's exactly what I would do. Someone like, "Well, I'm trying to do this," or like, "I'm looking for hammer." And I'm like, "Well, what are you trying to do?" I would do the same thing. That's why it was so funny whenever that was.
What are you trying to do?
But anyway, so Hank goes back to Megalomart, try to buy some batteries, right at the very beginning, and
you were trolling before trolls were trolls.
I was, but I wasn't trying to be trolling. I was just trying to help.
Yeah,
you know, 'cause
okay.
I was coming troll. Anyway, so Hank goes look for batteries, and no one will show him where the batteries are in Megalomart. It's so funny.
Until he freaking like walks out the door.
The guy comes up to him and he goes, "Oh, the batteries are right back there, sir. Right through that door." "Oh, thank you." And he goes out there, and it's the back of the Megalomart, and they lock the door on him. I hate this place. That's what he says. I don't think we were that bad. You know, but
yeah,
we were pretty bad though when I was working at Walmart. That's before we had super centers when I worked at Walmart. So
that is true. And after he leaves Megalomart, what is it?
well, Luann is they're cutting hair on the old ladies, and then Luann's like, "Can I get a new old lady? This one's too small for my chair."
"Miss Kranzer, my senior citizen is too small for my chair. Can I get a new one?"
She's like, "Be quiet, Luann. Some of them can hear you."
Can I get a new old lady?
Come back here in my office. We need to talk. And I guess Luann hasn't paid her tuition.
Oh yeah.
She needs $300.
Yeah, so she goes and asks Hank.
Well, first she asked
was
Buckley.
it first? I thought
Buckley.
She asked Hank and then first, and then she asked Buckley.
Well, she was talking to Buckley about it. She didn't really ask him for the money. She was just talking to him.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, how much is it?" She goes, "Well, $300." He goes, "Well, I only have $400. That's for my new trampoline."
Yeah, he's like, "Mine's not broken, but it's not in good shape."
Yeah. And that's when she talks to Hank. You know,
yeah, and he's freaking driving a motorcycle. I was just like, he's
I know.
on a motorcycle, and he's like, it's just priorities. You know what I mean? Just priorities.
I guess when you're that age, you don't really have any priorities. You know, I didn't.
Yeah.
I know what my priority was.
So then he goes and talks to Hank and Peggy.
Yeah.
And
She goes, "Can I come in?" And Hank says no, and Peggy says yes.
And it's very accurate because that's kind of how it was like growing up for me. Like, you know, like how adults used to act, you know, like, hey, you know, can I come in? And be like, no. Or, you know, like they didn't really want you around, but they didn't want to tell you they didn't want you around. So
well, Peggy's
right.
She's
Peggy's sweet and innocent, but Hank definitely doesn't want her
yeah,
around.
Hank
He doesn't want to like tell her that he doesn't want her around.
Exactly. I like whenever she explains to him what she wants. She goes, I need $300. I don't have $300 until I become a famous makeup artist. And Hank's like, well, that's a real catch 22 there, Luann.
Okay, so he's he's watching TV, the next scene, and then the commercial for Megalomart comes on. And that's when it advertises for them selling propane. And he shits fucking bricks. He's like, you sons of bitches.
Goes, you bastard. You see the vein in his head?
You bastards.
Spazzing out.
Which I thought was kind of funny because, like, you know, it's especially with like Strickland and them, you know, because it's like, how are you gonna beat those prices, you know? And he knows that, so it's funny.
Well, when he gets to work next day, Mr. Strickland is like, well, after me and Debbie stayed up all night last night, and after that,
Debbie and I stayed late last night, and after that we came up with a plan.
Yes, we have a plan. Good work, Buck. And, Debbie?
that.
That's so funny. We come up with a solution. And he's like, all right, what we got? Service with a hug.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Service with a hug.
Then the guy comes down there to buy some propane, and Hank's like,
yeah.
Tries to give him a hug. I hugged you whenever he walked out.
You could get our propane for several hundred pennies more. He's like several pennies more. He's like, how much? How many more pennies? He's like,
several hundred.
I hugged you. Starts walking out.
As he walks out. Yeah. After that, he goes to Megalomart. He's in the propane department. You know, talking about Strickland propane, hoping that he get people to come to Strickland.
Yeah.
You know, Buckley comes over there. Sir, you're being loud. A lot of these are extremely voluptuous. Yeah. Whatever that means.
Voluptuous gases.
He goes, where's the manager? I want to talk circles around him.
He's like, what did Buckley used to do before? He's like,
he was a key. He made keys.
Oh yeah, he's like, they didn't want me making keys anymore. So I'm manager of the propane department.
Because I don't know to vomit or to laugh. So Mr. Strickland decides to close down the branch, and then fires Hank,
which I thought was crazy. He's like there's 4 different branches. We had 5 different branches. We had to shut this one down. It's like you couldn't have just moved Hank to another branch.
Exactly. Couldn't move Hank to another branch. Exactly. You got 5 different branches. You can't move him someplace else. You got to fire him. He's your number one guy. I thought
that was so funny. And then he's like, okay, he's like, I can't give you any money, can't give you any sandwiches package, but I can give you 10 minutes in the storage closet.
I know.
He's like, the dude walking in and says, make a basket out of your shirt, Hank.
I can't even afford to give you a severance package, but you can have 5 minutes at the office supply cabinet.
Make a basket out of your shirt, honey.
He's like walking around with a shirt full of shit.
I know. Yeah, that's when Hank's like, he hates everything Megalomart at that point. You know, he's throwing the batteries at the store. He's throwing away all the food that says Megalomart. Anything that's touching something from Megalomart.
Bobby comes in with some tissues. He's like, hey, Dad, do I throw this away? He's like, did it come from Megalomart? No, but it was touching something that came from Megalomart. All right, then. Throw it away. It's just like, okay, what the hell? Oh shit, he's like losing his shit.
Yeah, after that he's just sitting at the house, you know, getting no job. He's sitting at the house watching TV, and he sees that the priest guy. I don't remember his name.
The freaking
he's like a cop, but he's a priest. He's like, why is that priest killing those people? Luann.
Or how did a priest get that bad or something like that?
He says, how can a good cop become such a bad priest?
Yeah. How could such a good cop become such a bad priest?
How can a good cop become such a bad priest?
Yeah, then he's trying to find jobs, but he only knows propane. Yeah, that's like his only thing. So he goes for his interview, and it's like this one of those classes where they're trying to sell you something. Like, so you can make $300,000 with your initial investment of $300.
And he's well, what are we selling? He's like,
Okay, Eager Beaver.
hold on just a second. You're selling a box. Well, what's inside the box?
With dreams.
Yeah, it's a box with dreams.
And with those dreams, it's 24 smaller
Oh,
boxes.
boxes.
We're not selling steak knives, are we? No, not we.
You! You! Starts chanting.
Everyone's like, yeah. Hank's like, yeah, I gotta get out of here.
Oh, shit.
Man, that's too good.
You.
So actually, before they Strickland closed, one of the funny scenes is whenever they're cooking outside, and then Hank's like, Dell, you're need for a new can. He goes down there. He's like, oh, he shows you're full, and he knocks on it.
Something might be wrong with your gauge.
Yeah, something might be wrong with your gauge. And then the sticker peels back.
Megalomart.
And you see Dell. Oh my God! He just runs, jumps over the fence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
I thought it was hilarious.
Oh man,
because he's like, I don't know, like Dell always gives that. He's always like, fuck the government, I'll take them all out. But when anything ever happens, he's the first one to fucking run.
He's the first one that's out.
I love that shit. Yeah. So funny.
Yeah. And then Hank can't find a job, and they're outside drinking beer, and Hank's like, yeah, Peggy's found some extra work as a notary, and Bill says, Hank, you got a good man there. And Hank says, what'd you say, Bill? And then he's looking around, looking to kick his ass, and Bill takes off running and tries to jump the fence, but he can't make it. He just fucking falls down.
It just lays there on the ground.
Peggy's landed some extra work as a notary public.
You got yourself a good man there, Hank.
What did you just say, Bill?
Even today, I've seen it 100 times. Still, that scene, I still laugh.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Man, it is so funny. Man.
Bill tries to jump the damn fence.
So afterwards, Peggy's like, Hank, you gotta do something. Don't be a try baby.
Be a do baby.
Be a do baby. So he ends up getting a job.
Well, yeah, because he's like, I'm trying, Peggy. He's like, I'm trying, Peggy. I'm trying. He's like, Hank, don't be a try baby. Be a do baby.
Yeah. And that's where he starts working at Megalomart. But what's funny is Luann wanted that job. She was supposed to get that job at Megalomart as a propane salesman.
To go in for the job interview or to take the test because she's been studying for the damn test. And then Hank has it. He's like, oh, you don't have to worry about taking the test anymore, Luann.
I give it to
this guy.
And then whenever Hank, next day, Hank's leaving for work, she's like, I hope you enjoy walking because I flushed your keys down the toilet.
I hope you like walking, though, because I took your car keys and I flushed them down the toilet.
And then he's like driving away at this point. He's like, and then freaking Peggy comes out and was like, Luann, have you seen my keys?
Luann, have you seen my car keys?
Oh, shit.
That is so funny, but how mad she is, when she's talking to Hank, and Hank doesn't even bat an eye. He just gets in his car and drives off.
Oh, it is funny. It is so funny.
Man, that is pretty good. That's probably my two favorite scenes.
She's like
Bill and that
trying to fucking get back at him.
Yeah.
Hank just doesn't give a shit.
He
doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't care at all. He really doesn't. So while working at Megalomart, of course they hate it. What's funny? All the small businesses that was there in Arlen, they're all shut down. Now all the owners, they all work for Megalomart. Did you know that?
The show?
Yeah. In that episode, all the owners.
because they're sitting at the gun shop.
Yeah, the gun shop guy, the bait tackle guy, the one who burned down his business. Yeah, they all work there now. And they're all working for the beast that killed them.
Wait. Who burned down the business?
There's a different episode. Whenever Hank he always buys his fishing stuff at this bait shop, but the guy burns down his bait shop for the insurance money.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking
It's
about.
a really funny episode.
Was it prior to this episode?
Yeah,
It was-
before this, yeah.
Okay, I saw that.
It's in the second season, but before this. But I think it's funny how they bring that up, because the shop used to be there, and they bring up the shop after he burned it down. So,
For the insurance money. That's
Yeah.
funny.
yeah,
And they're all talking about how they hate, Mega Mart. That's the thing. It's like they're all in the back conspiring on what they should do.
get kazoos, Hank. But yeah, that's when they devised a plan with kazoos because they're having a Chuck Mangione concert,
Yeah.
and
Which I thought, honestly, I didn't realize that was Chuck. Until yesterday, I didn't realize that was Chuck.
that's his real voice. That's
And
him
then-
playing the part.
And then because the way they make him appear in the freaking show, he looks like an Amish dude. He looks like he just came from a fucking Amish.
I actually
dude.
looked him up because what does this guy look like in real life? I was like, oh, he doesn't really look like that.
I don't think so. I mean, he literally looks like he just walked out of the Amish community in the fucking show. Honestly, look at that black with the hat on there, with the little trumpet. He looks like he's coming from the Amish. That's what I thought. I thought it was some kind of Amish. The Megalomart was owned by the Amish or some shit like that. I don't know. I thought it was a play on that kind of shit, and that's why they had him as the mascot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Singing for him. You know.
Yeah, he's throughout the whole King of the Hill
Yeah.
show.
I did not know that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in the whole show. He's part of the King of the Hill.
Around the parking
Buckley
lot.
gets onto him for not putting cheese or something out, and then Hank is looking at that picture of Chuck Mangione, and then each time he looks at it, he gets closer and closer, and his face changes to a really mean smile. It is so fucking weird. And that's when Hank loses it. He's when he loses it, and they devise that plan with kazoos to disrupt the concert.
Yeah.
And after that's wherever he sees Buckley. He has a propane tank
Dragging
it by the nozzle. Yeah, or actually that same scene before he gets in trouble. That's why he gets in trouble, because he yells at Buckley for grabbing the propane tank, and that's when he's like, "What are you doing over here? You're supposed to be putting 2% cottage cheese out for Chuck Mangione." But at the end, he's doing a concert.
Yeah.
And then they start doing the kazoo. Hank goes inside. He's like, I got something bigger in store for Chuck Mangione.
Yeah.
Goes inside and gets, I don't remember what it is, a microphone or something. Hank goes inside, and then when Chuck starts to play, they do the kazoos. And then a poster goes down that says, Megalomart destroys small businesses.
Yeah.
And Bill's like, is that their new slogan?
Megalomart destroys small businesses.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then shortly after, Hank smells propane, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And that's when
It
it
blows
blows up.
Yeah.
It explodes. And then the funniest scene in the whole episode, when Boomhauer is on the phone, he calls 911.
Hey man, it's 911. I ain't here no Megalomart, man. It go this boom, man, there's a fire there. And it don't that come out everywhere, man. I don't know, saw Nick man run out there. I don't know if Chuck Mangione gonna be come down.
He's talking so fast. Dang all this, dang all that. And the 911 lady, she's like, "Sir, you have to slow down. I cannot understand you. Dang, Megalomart, go boom."
Here,
Sir, you are going to have to speak more slowly. I cannot understand you.
dang Megalomart. That talk about them old, that it boom.
Yeah, dang Megalomart, go boom.
That's when they caught the episode.
Dang Megalomart, go boom.
Man, that's so funny. Him on the phone.
I love
That
it.
is-
I love when he talks. Anytime.
Man, yeah, he's
Dang old Evan, dang old.
dang all this, dang all that. Yeah, honestly, we could talk about each episode up from season 1 probably to season 5 because they're all that good. They're all got so many good quotes in it. I mean, that's how
I think
good the
even
show
after
is.
Season 5, I think the show's.
It's still good, but it's not nearly as good, in my opinion.
I
Not nearly as
disagree
good. I mean,
strongly.
I don't still think it's nearly as good as because the humor.
It's a different kind of good. It's not your crazy. Dale isn't as crazy.
Yeah, Dale is. That's my problem. Dale isn't as crazy.
He's a
Boomhauer-
different kind of crazy. He's not UFO crazy. He's government crazy. At this
Even
point.
he's not even as much government crazy.
Yeah,
later
because
on.
that's when he starts going into the gun clubs and doing all that crazy shit with them, and You know, it's just more. It's not UFOs. He's not talking about UFOs anymore. It's all about conspiracy with the government, and you know the government's gonna kill, you know, take over control of everybody. MK Ultra, you know. So that's and then Hank, he gets more metal. It's not. He gets more like mature in terms of like he's not as dumb. Like
not old school.
Yeah, he's old school, just not. I love like my favorite episode is like when Peggy joins the cult. That's later.
That's
on.
a good episode.
That's later on. In
that's
like
fourth or fifth season.
No, that's later on. That's like season 6 or 7. 100%.
We'll have to look it up.
We'll look it up.
I don't believe you. You're always wrong.
Whatever.
But yeah, I'm not saying that later episodes are bad, but they're not as funny in my opinion as the first like 3 or 4 seasons. But yeah.
See that.
Anyways,
that's pretty much the first episode or the first part of
Propane Boom.
Yeah, Propane Boom. That's
yeah, it's a great episode, man. It's so funny. So funny. But yeah, it's part 1. We're gonna do part 2. It's called Death of a Salesman. But anyways, thank you for watching.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. Peace.